will surprise you, but most people,
are generally, we're pretty shitty people.
by the standards we've set for ourselves as people,
Of course,
instead of just, accepting ourselves for our nature, the standard we've set for ourselves, we rarely can achieve that. Mm-hmm. It's nuts.
Right.
So many examples.
Yeah.
You know about Liberia, like freed slaves.
Yeah.
And they sent them, and they were like enslaved the locals. And then Israel, it's like, oh, we were dehumanized, and now we have a country, so let's immediately dehumanize these people.
Of course. Yeah. That's just the circle of life.
It is.
Unfortunately.
Humanity.
But whatever.
I don't even know where we were going with it.
I don't know, but we made a ton of good points.
Fuck yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did. Hell yeah. Yeah.
What? Yeah, I'll drink to that.
Hell yeah.
We did great.
Fuck
That's what
yeah.
we do. I don't want to alienate anybody. I don't want to.
Yeah, no, we don't want to leave anybody out. So,
So pretty much whatever you believe. What's your number?
my 443-747-1417.
One more time on your phone number. So people can call you.
747. Oh, no, 443-747-1417. Yeah. But make sure you take down Graham's number too. So,
I mentioned it earlier. It's 555. I have no idea what we've done today, sir. We have done 2 podcasts. We got a little bit political. We got old.
Yeah.
We got crotchety.
Yep.
We yearned for the past.
Yeah. Nostalgic.
Whatever. I mean, we don't do it all the time.
No.
So, podcast listeners seem to enjoy this kind of shit.
Yeah, when guys get on here and they get mad and they ran and shit.
You know what else podcast listeners have a bottomless gullet for is fucking comedians talking about how the size of the audience they're talking to changes the way they do comedy. How many fucking times do I have to hear that goddamn conversation?
I don't think it's going to change your bit. You're going to be happy. I mean, you're going to be funny regardless. That's your job.
And, and if it does change it, I understand. It's a lot of people. Are you saying that me and Tony sitting here talking to each other would be different if there were 6,000 people around us? Really?
Yeah.
It would be different?
Wow.
That's crazy because I always assumed it would be the same.
Yeah, no variable has changed at all. No,
everything would be identical.
Okay, yeah, you will be shocked at you expected a number, you got more than that number. I mean,
or even like the way you do it, because I bet it does. I bet it is different.
Yeah.
It's different when you perform in front of a bar than it is if you perform in front of 6,000 people. I fucking bet it is. Yeah. That's not an interesting observation, especially if all of you make it all the time, every time I hear you. Fucking Chris D'Elia being like, a fucking stadium's different than a fucking bar, and fucking my parents are producers. Like, this is a great story this guy's telling. He's like, but dude, that doesn't make me not like you guys who slept in your cars. I really, fucking kill me now.
That's not the thing that I want to hear.
No, you want to hear Pod Caviar, you want to hear 1 Gram Army.
Yeah.
Yeah. And normally they're not quite as cynical or...
We can get worse. We can get way fucking worse.
And we will at some point.
Yeah. At some point, we're going to get there.
We did great. I think we did great.
No, yeah, we totally did.
Yeah. Totally. I think we probably should have ended yours at some point before this, but we're getting there.
Fuck it.
And I think we did fantastic.
I have that many hour-long episodes anyway, so...
Gotta have some in the box.
Yeah. I mean, shit. Sometimes, and there are a lot of, fuck that. Most of the podcasts that I listen to are at least an hour and a half. So, we give you just enough content normally for a commute. Right. Things like that.
That's usually my goal, is to not presume that someone would want to listen to me talk for an hour. But there's 2 of us. Yeah. We usually do a half-hour podcast. An hour one shouldn't be.
No, it shouldn't be that bad.
God knows where it'll go, right?
Right, yeah. We don't know what train this station is stopping at. But,
certainly somewhere funny.
Of course. Yeah. So, whatever. Shit, man. We talked about a lot.
I'm just listening.
These are the things that people are going to love when you can go back and listen to the old podcast. Once we make it big, everybody's going to want to go back. And this is why we aren't happy if we do an episode that is shit, but we rarely, if ever, do shit episodes.
Right. Or if we
because we know the importance of it. You know?
Of course. No.
Yeah.
No. Even when we get silly, I think.
Right.
Because a lot of times we'll end a podcast and be like, we really shit the bed there. This one. That's the one.
Right. That's the one.
Nowhere.
Yeah.
They're always fine.
Yeah.
They're good
I
conversations.
mean, it happens on a weekly basis, pretty much.
Pretty much every time we do a podcast,
Yeah.
I'm like, that's the one that sinks the ship.
Right.
And they're fine.
And they're awesome, yeah.
We could be fucking with it right now, though.
I don't think so, though.
I don't mean the harbinger of doom. I don't want to assume that that's what we're doing right now. But I think it every week, and I'm wrong every week.
Yeah. So yeah.
Every week.
I mean, this could be the fucking grand slam that we've been waiting on.
I like these calm little moments before the storm.
Yeah. Pretty much. I mean, shit.
Have you you know what that soundbite is from?
I've heard it before, not on the soundboard, but what is it?
It's from The Professional. You know, Leon the Professional.
Yeah.
When Gary Oldman is standing in the hallway, he's like,
yes, I remember that part.
I love that. And you know what's funny was I was thinking about that the other day, and that was why I got that sound. But man, that is possibly like easily in the top 10 greatest movies ever made. And then what else made me think about it is fucking Gary Oldman is probably the greatest actor of all time.
You think so? Better than what's his face from There Will Be Blood?
Daniel Day-Lewis,
yeah,
is the best method actor probably.
Okay.
Although in Daniel Day-Lewis's characters, there's always kind of a common thread. It does always seem to be like, I have a mustache and I'm very focused.
Okay.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they're all phenomenal.
Right.
Like Daniel Day-Lewis is the shit. Gary Oldman's a character actor. He has played every kind of character, varying accents, varying times in the space-time continuum. He has been so many different things, and every time nail on the head, like bam.
Yeah.
Like you get Gary Oldman, you get the greatest actor of all time.
Yeah.
Because he's not.
I mean, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, because he's not. At least there's an argument to be made there. I'm not necessarily saying like this is a steadfast fucking thing.
Right. Yeah, because everybody can make it. Some people can say Sean Penn, Daniel Day-Lewis I brought up, but I mean, I agree with what you're saying. Daniel Day-Lewis does bring it consistently.
Yeah.
No matter what the role is.
But if I was making the argument for Gary Oldman, you're talking about that character from The Professional.
Yeah.
Talking about the guy from The Fifth Element.
Yeah.
Another heavily underrated film.
Yeah.
Like lots of people saw, maybe didn't quite appreciate for his genius. Gary Oldman was he Dracula in Bram Stoker's Dracula?
Was he?
I believe he was.
I think so. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Let's IMDb Gary Oldman real quick. He deserves that because the man, he was Commissioner Gordon in the Batman movie. He did great at that, which was falling off a log for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he's done so.
Well, while you're looking that up, I just want to say that I rewatched The Dark Knight is on Netflix now, and I rewatched it recently.
With the one with Heath Ledger?
Yeah. And that movie is easily one of the greatest movies ever filmed.
Yep.
Seeing it, I remember seeing it in the movie theaters, and I've seen it since then, mostly on like network television with the commercials and everything. But the other day, I was just sitting in my apartment, and I think the weather was bad. It was raining or some shit, so I didn't want to go anywhere. And I just saw that they put it on Netflix, and I watched it from beginning to end.
Yep.
And I was like, this movie is a masterpiece beyond the realm of belief of a lot of us, especially when it came out. Because when it came out, we were all like, wow, this is a great movie. But then a lot of movies that were great back then don't age.
Well, and a ton of superhero movies were coming out and are still coming out.
Yeah, yeah.
But no, I entirely agree with you. That movie stood head and shoulders above the rest, and I'm glad to hear that you watched it recently and it still was.
Yeah.
Because I've watched it probably in the last 6 months, and I definitely watched it shortly after Heath Ledger died.
Yeah.
Just so that I wasn't carrying around like a weird memory in my head. Like, was that the greatest acting performance of all time?
Right. Yeah.
And then I watched it again. I was like,
of course, yeah.
Could be.
Yeah. So if you get spare time, watch it again, and it's like. My theory, while we're talking about theories, which seems to be the arc of this episode, is that my theory was that the Dark Knight wasn't a Batman movie; it was a Joker movie, and Batman was just the co-star in it.
Absolutely.
Because you got to see
destroyed the rest of them.
Yeah. Because you got to see how methodical the character is and what he did. And then, of course, there are some things that happen that you're like, what the fuck? Well, how did that happen? But you got to understand, below all of this shit, it's still a comic book movie.
It's a Batman movie.
Yeah, it's a Batman movie.
The school bus pulls in between the other two
shit
school
like that,
buses and nobody.
And see, I used to be critical about that back then, but then when I rewatched it now, I'm like, now that I'm at peace with it being, I accepted that. So
they presented it to you so darkly.
Yeah,
like this is a fucking heist movie. I'm watching Heat right now. That doesn't make any sense. But you're not. You're watching a Batman movie,
of course,
and you're just accidentally
right.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the deleted some of the deleted scenes? You know when they blow up when he blows up the hospital. When Joker's in the dress and he blows up the hospital, and he gets in that school bus and it drives away as it's blowing up. Well, when they filmed that scene, what that was a park. It was dope too because it was a parking garage that was going to be demolished. So all they had to do was put a facade on a parking garage, and it looked like a hospital.
Yeah,
because it's like X amount high and had like a thing across because there were 2 parking garages there.
Yeah,
and
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, so it looked like a hospital. So they really blew it up, and it didn't take a lot of like really heavy explosives to blow it up. It was an implosion, and it was an old rickety parking garage. They hollowed it out, blah, blah, blah. But so anyway, they shot that. There's no green screen.
Right.
Like he's walking out when he's hitting the detonator. It's actually exploding, and then he gets in the bus. A scene that wasn't in the movie is there's a camera in the bus looking basically across at the side of the profile of Heath Ledger, and you can see out the window the hospital blowing up. And he's sitting in the back of the bus as it's blowing up and it's driving away. It was a scene that was meant to be cut in. They didn't use it because it's so fucking dark. Because Heath Ledger, they pretty much told, like, he wanted the angle and they were like, we probably won't use it, whatever. And he could have easily looked out the window. He never looks out the window. He looks at the fucking seat in front of him. Like, he was there for that explosion and was like, not very far away from it and sat, and you can see it. You know, he kind of like rocks as the bus is driving and the building's blowing up out the side, and they don't, and he never looks.
That's crazy, man.
He never looks. I mean, and that was just one of those like chilling things about his portrayal of the Joker.
Yeah.
He nailed
story. That thing.
Fuck, like you said, the story is silly as hell anyway. It's a comic book. It's about Batman. It's not real. Like the Batman movie before that had people being like, Batman's a real guy. Like, no, that was just better than what Tim Burton came up with. Like, and
of course,
that's the progression. But Heath Ledger, to me, destroyed the Batman genre. Like, the DC comic universe to me is eliminated now that Heath Ledger can't be Joker anymore.
Of course, you know, and it just goes to show because Jared Leto is the Joker now, and he did a good job. Don't get me wrong, I love Leto. He's a great actor, but
without Ledger's performance, he's the Joker, and you'd be like, wow, that could be better than Jack Nicholson. But
now the next person to play Joker is Joaquin Phoenix. They're coming out with a Joker Origins movie that will be rated R. Okay, which helps. Yeah,
but he's such a douche.
He's weird. He is weird.
Fucking creepy douche.
But he's still a good actor.
Remember when Walk the Line came out and he played Johnny Cash?
Yeah.
I remember this girl when we were in the Air Force, like this girl in our shop came up to me and was like, did you see that? And I was like, yeah, I saw it. And she was like, can you believe that was Joaquin Phoenix and Reese Witherspoon singing those songs? I was like, yeah, I can, because it sounded like Joaquin Phoenix and Reese. They were like, oh, you know, in Ray, Jamie Foxx lip synced Ray Charles. Well, fucking duh.
Yeah, no shit.
Ray Charles recorded the music for that movie. Yeah. He was there.
It's a great soundtrack, by the way.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
It's amazing.
And Jamie Foxx can sing like Ray Charles.
Actually, to
where you wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
Right.
And they were like, we're going to pass on that. Go with Ray Charles singing these Ray Charles songs. Yeah. What the fuck does that mean? That sounded like Reese Witherspoon trying to sound like June Carter.
Right.
It didn't work.
Yeah.
The fuck out of here.
Just how retarded are you?
I only really need the one sound effect on my soundtrack. I didn't move out or move around.
But yeah, man. I mean, as going back to Heath Ledger's Joker, I mean, You don't get many performances in movies that will top that. Just the other day, I had looked up the year of 1995 and all the great movies that came out just that year. And then even then, I don't think there was a movie that will really go up against The Dark Knight. There's some, but a lot of movies won't.
No, Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Wait, so what? Like 2005?
No, 1995.
That's not when The Dark Knight came out.
No. I was just looking at the year of.
You were saying
all the
that
movies
was
that came out. Like 7 came out. Toy Story, and then Yeah. You know why? Because I was watching Indian in the Cupboard with my homegirl, and she was like, "Oh, this came out in 1995," and I was like, "Get the fuck out of here, for real!" Yeah. And then we were talking about how the effects in that movie were so good.
When did Jurassic Park come out?
That might have been 95 too.
I think that was like 90.
It might have been 95, maybe 93. Yeah.
Because
but
although it could have been 95. I was in 4th grade. I remember when Jurassic Park came out, so it could have easily been 95, if not 94.
But then the Indian in the Cupboard, they had great effects, and then Toy Story also came out in 1995. I thought it was after 95, but no, it did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Destroyed the world essentially by creating these virtual reality 3D generated computer universes.
Because we had a discussion of what movie really got the idea from the other movie, because Indian in the Cupboard is essentially the story of a toy that came to life when he got put in the cupboard and everything. So I guess maybe Toy Story got the idea from Indian in the Cupboard.
Well, I think, but Toy Story was different to me though. In the Toy Story, it was like they were all alive.
Yeah,
they just people were around.
I mean, it wasn't exactly the same, but you talking about toys that come to life, but they were always alive in Toy Story, but in Indian in the Cupboard, they needed that catalyst to make them alive.
I would just say though that the Indian in the Cupboard story is so wildly different from Toy Story. I don't necessarily say that like
and Indian in the Cupboard is a really racist movie by today's standards.
It's a racist and that's why movie by any standard.
Yeah, even back then it was really racist, except for we were kids, and when we saw it, we were like, "Oh shit, we can bring our toys to life." Yeah.
Well, yeah. You ever showed my daughter Ernest Goes to Camp not too long ago.
I love those
fucking
movies.
Camp Kick a Key. And they like painted the kids with war paint. I was like, that's fine. Whatever. Fine.
Nah, it's funny. Yeah. No. That's no. That's what you tell you. I grew up watching this movie. You see how I am, so I'm fine, right? It's like
I'm not though.
Yeah.
I think it's funny. That's not okay, I guess.
Yeah.
According to some people, but it's difficult too, though. Well, I'm not gonna go down that road. I gotta go get a beer. You want a beer?
Yeah.
Still doing this?
Let's keep going. Fuck it. Yeah.
We're rugging this thing.
Crazy how it just takes. You know what? I think we need to do. I need to do more commercials, more like parody commercials. I mean, we have the. You know what? I'm going to make my own commercial right now. So if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. This is more of a. This is a long ass episode actually, and it's a good exercise because normally, like we said earlier, we don't do these long episodes, but. Subscribe now. Subscribe to 1 Gram Army. Check out Shirt Caviar. That's my business. I went through 4 years of college to get a bachelor's degree in graphic design, and my designs are pretty banging. So, the shirts are really they're priced good. I think I buy them all the time, and I wear them, and I always get compliments. So. I need to figure out how to match up the sales with the compliments. Once I start doing that, then I think that I'll really take off. I know I love podcasting. I love making designs. The overall goal of this is to be rich enough to not have to have a 9-to-5. And excuse me. That's what I'm here for. So, and the podcasting gives me a nice little outlet to say my opinion and whatever I think. Thank you, sir. And it's just something that it's enjoyable. And one of the things that I've said recently is that when I stop having fun with something, then I'm done with it. It's a nice thing to say about life in general, but I was more speaking on my relationships with girls, which are I will say that my dating life post marriage is just going to be a very interesting chapter of my book, of my life, my autobiography.
Absolutely.
So
it should
yeah,
be, as it was for me.
It's going to be interesting, very interesting. But yeah, you know, I forgot what I was saying, but.
I forgot to. We went on pretty good. I think we did a pretty long one.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. Like, we don't really get to do episodes this long, but it's a great exercise to do it. That was part of what I was saying. And
you don't have to repeat yourself.
You are talking to the fans. You are seeing us in a marathon mode, you know, because the alcohol will have us talk about anything.
It gets
and
involved
we do that
sometimes.
Yeah,
undoubtedly. I do kind of want to save the detox toxins thing for its own podcast.
Okay, yeah, we could do that.
People fucking drive me crazy. But yeah, we'll definitely do one at some point. One of either of ours will eventually be about.
What the hell is wrong with you people?
Fucking thinking you can detox your body with water and.
We should mix that in with all the MLM, the pyramid scheme things that go on.
Yeah, those are all big parts of it.
Yeah, they are.
There's detoxing yourself and cleanses those that are mostly water. That's all a big part of many pyramid schemes.
Yeah,
it's how it's entered the collective consciousness is through pyramid schemes.
And a lot of people that I know are a part of a lot of those things. And if you're not familiar with a pyramid scheme, look it up because it's a scam.
If someone you know isn't trying to sell you some dumb shit, you're the one in a pyramid scheme trying to sell your friends some dumb shit. Yeah. So, you know, that's a great episode because we could do a lot of research on this shit because it has been documented. There's been stories of how pyramid schemes should be illegal nationwide, but they aren't illegal. But at the same time, they are so
shitty.
Susceptible to them, though. To me,
exactly.
And I kind of agree. I'm like, you know what? If you get caught up in one of those, that's on you, Playboy.
Yeah, yeah. And that's how it is. So,
but we could do a whole episode.
Man, we could talk about that shit for a long time.
Yeah,
there's a lot of things that we can do.
Yeah, that one is in particular.
That's a great thing about a podcast. We can just choose a subject and be like, "Hey, this is what we're going to talk about."
Because I'm big on this toxins thing, and now I'm going to talk about it for a second. Because fucking these people with their detoxes, where they're like, "Oh, you put your foot in this bath, and they run a low electrical current through it, and all these toxins soak out of your feet into the water. You drink these smoothies." And you feel better because you're detoxifying. Well, first of all, you feel better because you're drinking water. And probably if you're taking one of these cleanses, if you read some shit there, you're like, oh, I do always feel shitty. Well, it's because you fucking ate a Big Mac and drank 10 beers.
Yeah.
That's the trade-off.
Yeah, that's how it is. That's how the body works.
Yeah, if you want to do that, that's how your body's going to respond because all of that is terrible.
Right.
But then you're like, oh, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop doing that. And I'm going to drink this water. And I'm going to drink it with this other stuff mixed in. But it's just basically I'm just drinking way more water.
Yeah.
And eating less burgers. And then you're like, oh, I feel better. I've been detoxified. No,
you haven't. No, you haven't. Not
burgers
at all.
And you drink some fucking water.
Yeah.
Because you got to do that.
You have to do that. Yeah. That's literally the healthy alternative.
Yeah. It is like, don't do that. Drink water.
Yeah.
And then you're detoxified. But my question is always, why... Then how come they don't fucking like put all those kids in Flint, put their feet in baths? Right. Well, and then, oh shit, you don't have lead poisoning anymore. You send those send those smoothies out to Fukushima.
Right.
And all those
they'll cleanse
Japanese
that.
people with radiation poisoning.
I always get that. I like the when they put it on their feet, the pad, and then they pull the pad off and it's black.
Yeah, that's a big
one. You really honestly believe that toxins travel to your feet, through your whole body, down to your feet? You imagine how bad feet would stink because you wouldn't be able to get that smell of toxins out of your everything.
Is your body
exactly? Yeah, it's so many questions.
You have a liver.
Yeah,
you have kidneys.
Right.
Your feet really are just like blood and bones.
Yeah.
And like that's just the bottom of your body.
Right.
Like it's like the most utilitarian part.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
And then, how to get rid of toxins is, you go to the bathroom like a normal person. It doesn't come out of your feet. You don't dangle your feet over the toilet, do you?
And what the fuck? And a lot of times too, when they're talking about toxins, that's a very blanket term.
It is.
Because that's what I'm saying is I'm like, what do you mean toxin? They're like, you ingest chemicals all day. Well, you're made out of chemicals. Chemicals are fucking chemicals. Water is a chemical.
Yeah.
There's nothing that isn't a chemical.
Right.
It's all, this table's made out of chemicals.
Yeah. Everything it's chemical. Yeah.
All of our physical reality is made out of chemicals.
Right.
What the fuck are you talking about? They're like, toxins. Because you ate that big. Don't eat the fucking Big Mac.
Right.
Don't eat that burger.
Yeah.
That's why you feel shitty. It's not because you're full of mercury.
Right.
Like,
And, and if you're full of mercury, you know what? There's a specific condition that's called gout. You have gout.
Yep.
And then you need to go to a doctor, and that doctor will prescribe you shit like stop eating so much fucking fish, here's some antibiotics
don't
or whatever
eat
the
liver.
fuck.
Yeah, you can't eat liver anymore for a little while.
Yeah. That's called a diet change. You don't need a pad for that.
It's not gonna.
That's almost as bad as the essential oils people that think the essential oils will cure anything. Let me tell you something. The healthcare in America is shit, but essential oils is not the answer.
No,
it's not the answer.
It's not a free healthcare assessment.
No, it's not. So if that was the case, then everybody would have essential oils.
Have I ever shown you the homeopathic ER sketch from Mitchell and Weblook? They're a British comedy duo. Well, it was shit. Actually, I might show it to you now, but now you'll get pulled. But we'll watch it.
Right.
We'll watch it after this. But basically, it's like a sketch where a guy gets hit by a car and they take him to an emergency room and it's fucking like homeopathic. And they're like, his chakras are way out of alignment.
Oh my God.
Like, give him some of this. It's water in a bottle. And they're like,
right.
They put it on his tongue. And he pulls it up his hand. He's like, this lifeline doesn't look very good. He's like, I'll draw some more on with a pen. And he like...
That just shows that if you give humans something, they can take it to the extreme, and that's just what it is.
And humans will be like, "Fuck science."
Yeah.
If you're like, "Yeah, but you put your feet in this bathtub, and it forgives all your." It's all the same shit. This bathtub forgives you for being such a shitty person.
Yeah.
That you put your feet in it, and it's Jesus of the water.
Yeah.
It's the promise of salvation.
I mean, you don't either somebody's going to believe in religion or somebody's going to believe in essential oils.
Or putting their feet in
we as a
some
culture
water.
are so into extremes that it's weird to look at people who have reason and are in the middle. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean you have?
Yeah, you don't have any beliefs.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have any beliefs.
You are lost in society. You have wandered off.
Do you know how wrong I am all the fucking time?
Right.
Do you know how audacious
do you
it is?
understand how many times, well, that shit didn't work out as planned, has come out of my mouth or has been in my mind? I mean, it is unbelievable how much. Yeah, because we're all adults. We don't know what the fuck we're doing.
No.
Name one person in your life that knows exactly what the fuck they're doing at all the time.
I know people who say they do. They most certainly do not.
No, nobody does.
No.
Nobody does.
So the idea that I could be like, I got this figured out.
Yeah.
This is what I believe. What kind of ridiculous shit is that?
This is why I like in movies when I watch a movie and then shit doesn't go as planned and then they're like the main characters are standing there and somebody's like, well, what do we do now? That is the theme to my fucking life.
That is life.
Dude, what do you... We've both been married, and at some point in time, we're like, "This is what we're gonna do," and then at the end of the divorce, well, what are we gonna do now?
Yeah, exactly. Or I was halfway into it, and I was like, "I've made a huge mistake."
So what's now? What are we gonna do now? Like, well,
Dude,
shit.
it's small shit. Like getting up, I'll be driving. I'll be like, "Fuck, I knew I shouldn't have went this way." Yeah.
I mean, it's just
what do I keep believing in my head? Like, I am the person who knows the best way to drive every morning to everywhere I go. And there's people like that.
Yeah.
And every time they run into an obstacle, they go, "Well, I intended to have that obstacle so that I could come." And no, you didn't.
Yeah.
Nobody.
It doesn't matter how planned that you, because I like to assume, because of my anxiety, I get to assume all outcomes from many different situations, and I'm still surprised at some of the outcomes. I'm like, well, shit.
Of course. Yeah, no, I try to come up with all these various permutations. And I work myself the fuck up. I work myself up about some sort of thing that's going to come up. And when it comes up, it behaves in some whole other way. I'm like, I'm almost fucking 35 years old or however the fuck old I am.
Yeah.
I'm almost that old. Like, why? How the fuck did this thing still confuse me?
Right.
Who the fuck am I to go up to somebody and be like, Jesus... This book has all the answers.
Right.
I could be like, what about this?
Right.
It's not in there.
No, it's not.
Not in there.
No.
You got nothing.
And then it's a lot of weird stuff in that book.
Yeah.
And
a
then
lot of
when you bring that
universal,
up,
fantastic shit in there.
yeah, and then when you bring that up, a lot of hardcore religious people be like, well, yeah, it's just, you can translate that in any way. Yeah, when God said, bring me some foreskins,
yeah,
you can only translate that one way.
Right.
So you're cutting the skin off a group of people's dicks.
Yeah.
And then God needs those for what, spare parts? I don't understand what was going on back then. I mean, really, if you want to look at the Bible and then you make like a theme about it, then imagine it as they're building a 200-story building, but as they're building it, they're moving in offices and shit. So it's like hectic, and things change, and it's a moving thing. It's not done. Normally they would build the building, then move motherfuckers in.
The argument too is that, like, despite the fact that it was like written and edited and written and edited,
right,
put back together, and like each culture that had it added their own thing and omitted different shit. The argument for some people though too is that if we're all predetermined, then God determined that people would do that.
Yep.
But to which my response is, then if God is all powerful, that's a bad setup.
Yeah.
That the person who's all powerful is like, well, I created the universe, and about 10 minutes ago, I decided that I am a maniac.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because all this other shit was going on.
Right.
And I had, I couldn't have been bothered for 12 billion years.
Yeah, like
14 billion
it's
years.
a lot of years, so
but then now people are here.
Right.
I gotta get involved. And it's not gonna make a lot of sense.
By that time he's like, I'm sick of this. I'm sick of all of it. I don't want to be all powerful, all encompassing. I just want to, by the time humans pop up, you're like
yeah. Maybe I could do something with these things.
Yeah.
It's everything's as likely as the next thing, I guess, though.
Yeah. Everything is as it's supposed to be. So
I think that's probably, and that's the thing about that argument about, like, is it predetermined or do we have free will? Mm-hmm. The fuck does that matter?
No, it doesn't.
Because if either one is true, the parameters of our existence are exactly the same.
Yeah.
Because even if you're like, everything's predetermined and I'm just going to sit in this chair until things start happening, well, something will happen.
Yeah, something will definitely happen.
And you could be like, well, that was predetermined because these things had to happen.
Right.
Or if you have free will, your free will made you sit in that chair and then some shit happened because some shit's going to happen because shit's always going on.
Yeah, shit's always going to happen.
You know what I mean? And that's that. Why is the point of that conversation?
Right.
Yeah, it's a very silly thing.
It's just... It's crazy.
I don't even know where we were going. This is going so far off the rails. I'm having so much fun.
I know. It is fun, though, right?
God, I don't know if I should be recording these thoughts.
They're pretty awesome, though.
They are fun.
Yeah. I don't think we haven't really said anything that's really... It will agitate the extremes, but... People who are that extreme will always be agitated.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody who's that extreme is listening to our podcast. You mind if I smoke?
No, go ahead. Yeah. But yeah, like you said, either everything is predetermined or we have free will. Either way, I just feel like...
Here's a concern. It's hard to be alive on this planet based on the, parameters that we are allowed to exist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That sounds bad the way I put it, but like... the environmental parameters that allow us to exist on this planet as a species are fundamentally fucked. Yeah. And I think we're past it now. I certainly subscribe to that idea that we're well past the tipping point. And that even if tomorrow we were like, shut it all down, and we all died of starvation because we no longer burned fossil fuels,
right?
We would still be swallowed by the seas.
Of course. Yeah. But, they said that the atmosphere had more oxygen back then, and that's what caused like dinosaurs and like everything was bigger. So I don't want to. How would things change if we were still giants? And to some insects, we are still giants.
Yeah, well, probably.
We always have been.
Yeah, probably. It's probably all about perspective, though. It's like because if you think about it, you really have to force yourself into a cosmic perspective. Right. Unless you're Neil deGrasse Tyson and you spend a lot of time sitting in your office talking to yourself. Generally, I like to keep a cosmic perspective, but it's difficult in your day-to-day pursuits. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So probably even bugs. Like, even if bugs were, like, super intelligent, they'd be like, well, fuck, man. We still have to, like, go to the hole and climb over here. There's 1,000 ants would be like, we got to go over there and take apart that cricket bit by bit and bring it back into the hole and, you know, hope we don't get smushed or whatever.
Have you ever heard of, and I don't think this happens, but have you ever heard of an insect that gains awareness enough to not go with the flow? Because you see ants will always travel on the line. They have, each ant has a certain job. Bees will do it, you know, they have a thing. But have you ever seen
Saying
one
like a bee movie style ant, you know, like an ant with aspirations?
Yeah, like A Bug's Life.
Yeah.
Kind of like that.
Okay.
Have you ever heard about that in
No,
happening?
I've never in any of my reading about entomology, but also, I think an ant, like a rogue ant, maybe those are the ones you squish. You ever notice that, like, sometimes you'll be, because knock on wood, I keep ants out of my house. Once a year, maybe. Yeah. I'll find an ant, and I'll be like, damn, man, you're a long way from home, buddy.
Right.
Like, you really thought you were going to strike out on your own, and then I mush him.
Yeah.
So I don't really get the
maybe,
chance to
that's what it
ask
is,
him.
yeah.
But maybe I haven't thought about it till now, but
it's like
maybe I'm right.
The same thing happens to humans, though.
I assume they're scout ants, though, and I squish them.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they are.
And I leave them there.
Yeah, they could be.
Or
they could be rogue ants.
When I squish bugs, I leave them there for a little while. As a matter of fact, when you're leaving my house, you'll see there's a large spider smushed against the bricks under my porch light. And I left that spider there so that fucking other spiders know that we don't play around over here.
I wonder if they do that. Like, I would want to be in
the.
I want to be in
and you let them know we don't fuck around over here.
Of course, yeah. I want to know. I want to be in the mind of an insect and just see how it operates, you know, or a dog or anything. Even my dog. It's like, there's been plenty of times when I have looked at him like, what's going through your little mind? What's going on here?
Not much, probably.
Yeah.
Insects, though,
yeah.
I think because they're such simple organisms. And I know people who have gardens who do that. Like, if they squish a grub on one of their plants, they leave it on the leaf. Because, you know, if you were like, went into Kroger and then like you went in there the next day and like everyone was squished to the floor, you'd be like, I probably don't belong in here.
Right.
You went into a neighborhood and you were like, oh, this was a great neighborhood for shopping, and you noticed like, oh, a lot of people smushed and paved, like mushed into the sidewalk in this neighborhood. I think I'm gonna go home.
I wonder if there's been studies where they do that with bugs and see if they changed how they acted.
Yeah,
you know?
or the way they traveled.
Yeah.
If there's not, it's one we should do.
Yeah.
You get PhDs.
Yeah.
Probably somebody did.
I mean, but it's interesting to see that. Are bugs
we could
able
do
to
our
learn
own
to know how
experiment
to
too, even if someone else did it already?
Yeah.
It would be fun to do it.
Of course.
And fucking smush some bugs.
Yeah. But if they change the way that they handle that situation, is that a sign of evolution? I think so. Or is it a sign of intelligence?
Well, I think that you have to give insects, even if it's like a hive mind kind of thing, when you think about ants, it's like everything they accomplish. Like, even if like one ant is sort of an insignificant creature as far as its intelligence is concerned, or its awareness of its surroundings, as a whole, to me, they become an organism. You know what I mean? Like, capable of great things, like massive achievements for themselves, you know? So, like, maybe not even. And, I mean, you could look at humanity the same way.
Yeah.
Like, look at how we look at other animals. Look at how we look at ants. There could be something out there that would look at us in that same way. Be like, yeah, they interact with each other and they hang out. But, I mean, they don't, travel through dimensions. And fucking, like, look at them, look at them, like, getting up and going to work every day in a car. What the fuck is that? They can't just astral project to whatever part of the universe they want to go in. Squish them to that sidewalk, and I wouldn't go to that neighborhood.
No,
if those beings found out, if those beings planted a neighborhood there because they like jazz records and they don't want hipsters eating their jazz records, then they mush them,
mush them down, and then you drive past like, oh shit, well I'm not going over there. Fuck that. No, is that what separates? That would humans from insects and animals.
But that would be an interesting question.
Not
too,
even animals, because animals have been shown to know. be intelligent enough to go around obstacles, but insects haven't gotten to that level. So is that how evolution is going, or,
Well, and that would be interesting too, to see how that affected their evolution.
Right.
Would the ants that are less likely to fall into the same trap, are those the ones that get to reproduce? I think it's different for insects too, though, because I think it's a pretty much like you exist and the other insect exists, and then you make more insects.
Right. That has to be one insect that's like, you know what? This is bullshit. We could do this a better way.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But that would be the question. Does that insect pass on its genetic material?
Right,
Does that attitude continue to propagate?
You would think in an insect's mind, the way that they are, the one that does that would be seen as superior, so he would get the most chances to procreate.
But even if they're, within insects, there may not be like alphas and betas and all that. It would just be insects. Like I said, like you're this one. And then if there was one that was like, well, fuck it, I got to like make sure more ants understand that like we can do better than we are. And I mean, are ants not doing it okay?
I mean, I think they are now,
I mean, think about trees. I mean, trees, they live for fucking ever.
Yeah.
They
pretty much got it down.
They basically don't really require, there's a lot of things too that don't require consciousness. I think it's a bit conscionist for us to say that, things that have conscience are somehow inferior to us.
Right.
Because trees are like, whatever. Like, oh, okay, you cut us all down. We'll grow eventually.
Yeah.
Like, we were here before you.
Yeah, we'll
be here after you. We see and we're the kind of trees that you guys protect.
Yeah.
And we just get to sit here and watch you.
Yep.
And we just watch you guys come and go and come and go.
See,
I'm a redwood in California. People have been coming
for
and looking.
Years,
People have been coming and looking at me in awe since you guys all looked like cavemen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
But that's just it's just a nice thing to think about.
Yeah. Not to interrupt you, about how mushrooms though, like how mushrooms grow. Mm-hmm. Like if you go in my backyard, it's been like warm and humid. There's like little mushrooms here and there. Mm-hmm. Actually, all of those mushrooms are part of a mycelium bed that is probably the size of this whole neighborhood.
Oh,
like,
shit.
It's as big.
Really?
It's as big as it could be allowed to exist.
I didn't know that.
And it lives underground. And these mushrooms are just like small propagations of this massive mycelium bed that lives underground.
Oh, shit.
And it's one single organism. And it's a fungus, so it's not a plant. Mm-hmm. Like it inhales oxygen and
and it exhales
carbon dioxide.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, and some of them are poisonous. Some of them intentionally look like other ones to survive, but not in the way insects do, in the way that like they can communicate between the mycelium beds. Like one mycelium bed knows that it's next to another too.
Damn.
And like there are all these different species.
Yeah.
Then like if you go in the Pacific Northwest, there's these psychedelic mycelium beds that have existed since like, 0 AD. Like
that's crazy. Nature is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It is.
Fungus are a crazy one too, though, because it wasn't until very recently that we found out that where mushrooms are is part of one enormous organism.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And that's just how it manifests itself in our reality, is by it comes up out of the ground.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. No, there's a fantastic, not to encourage people to listen to Joe Rogan's podcast. He did a podcast with a man named Paul Stamets, who is like a mushroom expert.
Yeah.
And it is
unbelievable.
Mind-blowing.
Damn.
How incredible fungus are.
That's wild.
Yeah.
And fungus can turn into something harmful like that.
Yeah.
And it has before,
Yeah, well, and some fungus are incredibly poisonous.
Yeah.
And
some people have stated that fungus will be the start of the zombie apocalypse, quote unquote,
Oh my God.
That's how The Last of Us was, though.
Dude.
Yeah.
Your podcast is going to be so long if you keep going.
We can split it up in different parts.
Okay, well, you may want to split this one because we've done an hour and 12 minutes
anyway,
to this point.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do that.
God, yeah, because actually, I was just listening to a podcast not too long ago. Well, you got to take a piss. We could do the DWD thing though. That's a separate episode.
Yeah. Let's just wrap.
Let's
wrap this one.
This was long as fuck.
Yeah, this has been Pod Caviar. This is gonna be a little series, mini series. Yeah,
this one.
So we're about to split this up.
Yeah,
and,
we can do some more when we're done.
Yeah,
here,
we could do that. Yeah. But yeah, for now we're gonna go and just see us next time. We post the next part or whatever. But I'm Tony Baltimore and I'm out.